Hello, welcome to Urban Wood. My name is Carlos Anthony. I'm the executive chef here, and I'm here with Grow, Make, Share. And we are showing you today how to utilize this gorgeous pig grown locally in San Diego in Valley Center at Taj Farms. Jack Ford himself delivered this. This is a blue butt pig, absolutely gorgeous, 100 days young. And today we are gonna show this for an amazing dinner that we are having at the Ecology Center, where we really can show and focus on agriculture and growth and education. It's amazing, this product and how it's grown, lives in a gorgeous life as well as a very respected death. What's really important about these animals is that they're taken care of and that they're respected and loved. That just grows to our circle of life where we have beautiful farms with vegetables and pigs running around together. It creates a beautiful system. You want to go ahead and start. You have a cavity already open, a bled out pig. We want to just start and release that bottom right at the belly. What we're going to go is get into that rib cage, and you're going to start to feel it. We'll go back down the other side, just coming down, being sure to keep all of that beautiful skin intact. This is going to really help for that end process where we're going to roll this up and you have a whole animal really showcasing how incredible it is. So once we have it a little bit detached here, what we want to do is follow that rib cage as close to the bone as we can, following that rib cage straight down. Oftentimes people think that this is difficult. Man, I can't do that. That's way too much. But think about this. You have a friend, you have a big party, you have an anniversary, you have a wedding, and you want to showcase these animals are grown and raised here in San Diego. And it really shows for how a natural process that you can share and with all of your friends and family. So all we're doing here is coming around that rib cage, being sure to not puncture any of the meat, coming right down those ribs. And what we're gonna do is do it down the other side as well. You know, it really starts with a good pig that it's well taken care of, well respected and loved. These animals were treated, they were not only green fed, but they were whey fed as well. That just has to do with their diet. And what you see is a better quality pig. You see better fat, better marbling, and it's strikingly how different it can be. So, not to get lost here, we're just coming down the rib cage. Like I said, being real sure to keep intact that beautiful belly. We want to stay as close to the rib as we can. Close to the rib as we can here. Beautiful. We've got a couple of innards here that we're going to save and utilize for the filling. So we have this gorgeous liver. Let's go ahead and pull her out right now. Again, we want to use every square inch of this animal. So what we'll do is we'll take this, we'll cook it down with shallots, a little bit of brandy, make a liver mousse, if you will, and then that's going to go inside a beautiful sausage to stuff this cavity. But we'll get there, Bear with me here, friends. So we're going to go ahead, we're working down the rib cage here, really taking our time. You know, the biggest thing about butchery is that this wants to come off. All of these muscle sections, all of these things have natural linings of fat and muscular tissue that want to be broken apart. So oftentimes you just follow those lines, and with just the lightest of knife stroke, you can slide right through it. So we're starting to see some of this. I hope you can see it overhead here, how we've released that cavity. We've started to release that cavity, and now keeping very sure to keep that belly intact is very important here, that you keep that belly intact. So we're getting down here. We got this rib cage coming apart. Absolutely beautiful. Come straight down here. And then we'll open her up. These blue butt pigs are known for their freckles that grow on their backside that turn into a big blue rump, is what I'm told. But this is a little bit younger of a pig, 100 days young. It's gonna make for a sweet, beautiful meat. So we're here now, we're at this process where we wanna keep this open, and you start to see here this gorgeous cavity opening up. This is real natural. Just coming straight down the lines here on the back side. This is gonna open that little thing up here. Alrighty, so as you can see, without too much fuss, without too much muss, we have this rib cage all open, showing gloriously. So let's work our way down here. Make sure it's fully disconnected. And you know, you can really feel where those bones are, right? So we're getting those, we're releasing those pork spare ribs. Okay, let's just take my time here to get this out right. Perfection. You know, the secret to butchering animals is just go slowly, go with the bone, take it inch by inch and let it follow. Awesome. So we're right here. We're right up against the back, right where those tenderloins sit. And that's where we want to get. We want to get all of this out, all that back spine out while maintaining that beautiful skin on the back side here. So we'll get right to where those tenderloins are on the back, and we're going to come straight down. So now you should have your rib cage fully detached, and you're right at the top here, right where that spine attaches. So what you could do from this process right here is we could have a simple porchetta where we just take the head off from this point right here, use it for something else, a beautiful head cheese, and then just utilize this bottom section. For this dinner, what we wanted to do was really showcase the animal in a special way and really bring you to the front doorstep of that animal and showcase it. So we're gonna keep that head on. This adds for a little bit more difficult of a process, but really not that hard. What you want is a big sharp knife that you can just get through that spine. That spine right at the top, there are joints. And if you get right between them without too much muff, without too much fuss, you're able to come right through it. So now that we have that out, we can start working that spine out of here. So I'm just coming right where those ribs were, and now with ever so care, I'm just going ahead and taking the spine out, making sure not to get the skin. We want to keep that intact. Going right underneath it, sliding my knife underneath those ribs. Let me go, little guy. Let's get a thinner knife in here. We see that, so on this back side, what you'll see is you see two long tenderloins that run down the back of the pig. Now these are going to be really essential for later in our process to roll back up inside of our porchetta. Remember, we want to use every square inch of this animal and respect that process, respect that farmer that grew it, thanking Jack Ford for giving us this animal and having enough care and appreciation to really showcase this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pig. So what we have here is detached the bottom, and what we want to make sure is that we keep that tenderloin intact and that we go through the back, delicately sliding your knife under the back spine so as not to puncture any of that skin. Remember, we're going to roll this back up. So I'm just taking it inch by inch, kind of working my way down, and we're going to come all the way down. There we go. Nice. Okay, we're starting to get under it here. And what's going to happen is that this is going to want to pull itself straight up. So once you have that, now see, once I've gotten under there, I can start pulling that rib cage right out, being sure to take my time as to not puncture that back side. So we'll take that out. And then this whole rib cage should come right out. Okay. Absolutely perfect. Whew. It's a workout, let me tell you, but it's worth it. So as you can see, with just not too much effort, we have that rib cage out. We have 2 tenderloins right on top, and we have those pork spare ribs sitting on there. All right, so now that we have that rib cage out, we have to deal with the back side of this bone and then also worry about some of these leg bones in here. Though they are great for long cooks, long stocks, what we're gonna try to do is get all of that out and make it for a really beautiful porchetta, totally together. So I'm just running down my knife down this back section of the spine. Remember, it's much shorter now that you've gotten out that rib cage, but it's the same process. You wanna run down the lines, and now it's connected to both joints on these legs. There is a spatula. What's that bone called? Spatula.
Spatula?
Spatula.
But no, that's not right.
No.
They call it H-bone on the cow, but
Speculum?
It's okay, I'm just gonna go through it. So what we wanna do is get these legs out of here. We wanna get rid of that spine, still working ourselves down here. Anything extra as you get some of that tenderloin still connected to the back here is gonna be fantastic for later. We're gonna save every little bit of this. Every single bit of this is gonna go back into that pig and rolled up. This is a show-stopping piece. This is what you need to do to really showcase and respect that animal. We love doing things like this here. We're really excited to be with Ecology Center and being able to showcase this for a large group. Ecology Center is doing incredible work out there, really paving the way for education and agriculture for both children, youth, adults, really giving us and pushing forward the idea of how much agriculture affects every single one of us. And it means so much more than just going to the restaurant on Saturday night. You know, the food that we eat, that we put on our tables means something, and really taking, you know, if you really do your homework on the right products, the right farms, then, you know, you're gonna do a lot better for all of us. You know, you're gonna make a better California. Obviously, you're gonna live a healthier life. And it's, you know, it has a lot of effects that we've learned over time that are really important to all of us. So we have this gorgeous spine coming out, again, following the same principle that we just did in the back, or excuse me, the top. We're gonna just kind of go underneath it. And we don't wanna go too far deep because we wanna make sure that we keep all that skin intact, and definitely try not to puncture it in any way. So you can see that bone starting to come out here. Hello. Nice and easy. So it comes all the way down, right towards that rump. Remember, it's the blue rump pig. Okay, come on, baby. Come on, baby. So we'll just follow right alongside it. You know, you never want to try too hard. Remember, these things want to butcher. So right here, you have these 2 joints that are connecting those hind legs. You want to be able to get right underneath it, not worrying too much here. There's a lot of meat, there's a lot of fat. So you want to find those joints, and right where those joints connect, they'll pop out. There you go, there's one little pop, and we can go right underneath it, and you'll start to see it disconnect. Amazing. Now, if we get real close in the camera, you can see that little socket. That socket that sits right in there, it allows them to move that back leg. We want to get right underneath it. Okay, that's going to disattach that last bit of spine. Yeah.
Do that one more time, but just don't get your head in the way.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a good angle, but
cool.
the overhead camera.
We've got this. So right here is that back socket. That socket is right where that leg attaches. You can see right there, it allows them to move and shake. So we can go right around it, make sure we're getting it on. That's going to detach from the spine. Okay, so that's going to be our last little piece to detach this on this side. We'll go right underneath here. Okay, and we'll come the same thing on the other side, going right to find that socket. Remember, you have a lot of meat right here. There she is. You see her with me? Little socket right there. Use your knife to go with the bone, go with those muscles. Okay, nice and easy. Again, you don't want to fight against the bone. You're not trying to cut through bone right now. What you're trying to do is slide under bone, slide between muscles. That's the secret here. Now you have a big flat bone that's kind of fighting us. So we're going to go around here. All right. I feel like she wants to come out. She wants to come out. Okay, we're right here at this socket. We're disattached. Okay, and then this is going to come right underneath, right where that spine is. We want that to come out clean. Remember to keeping that backside in mind. All right. Remember, all good food takes time, takes a little patience, a little practice. And right here, you'll be able to get this, and this should detach all the way to that little tail muscle. Come in here, get a little sturdier knife for the action. There we go. Nice and easy. This again is gonna be beautiful for roasting and gorgeous stock. This is gonna add that flavor to the porchetta at the end. So now, what we have here, we still have that tail attached. We'll leave that little guy in there, we like her. So now what we have here is that all of that backbone, that entire spine taken out. We have 2 tenderloins on top of the rib cage, all the way out of the bone, and now we're left with this gorgeous pig with just a couple of leg bones in here. What we want to do is get this thing fully rolled up, stuff it with some of its own meat, make a beautiful sausage. But how do we get these bones out, all right? So we still have a little bit of work to do here. So now that we've seen it, now that we've opened it up, we see that gorgeous inside, you've got that skin still intact. Now we need to follow this bone here and try to get some of these legs disattached. Okay, we want to keep this as squared as possible. We are going to have a little excess of the hoofs, but that's okay. We're going to put that into our stock. So again, whenever you're tunnel boning or whenever you're taking a bone out of the leg, it's really simple, right? You want to follow the bone structure itself. And very simply, you can see it. You can find the hard edge and then just ride your knife alongside it. So right here, we see that bone. Just going underneath it, following it as it turns, and send it straight down. At this point, you'll see it kind of coming out. So again, what we want to do is get under it, right? A lot of this meat wants to come out. So right here, I'm just going to take my knife right underneath it, and I'm going to start to pull her out. As you pull up, you can gently use your knife just to allow that bone to come out of there. Again, this is not rocket science. Sometimes people get so scared about this process. What do I do with a leg of pig? I've got this big rump side. I don't know what to do with it. Really, it's a simple process. A good sharp knife and a little know-how, and you will be impressing all of your friends. Okay, so we're right here as it turns. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And then we can come right at this knuckle here, right where it turns. Go ahead and use a little bit bigger of a knife. Let's try not to lose any limbs while we're doing this here. And it comes right out. So we'll roast this. This goes into our stock. This is going to be excellent with flavor. Lots of amazing gelatin in there. And what you see here is now you've got that pork butt still in there, still attached, sitting ready to go. What we'll do is remove any of that cartilage you see. We don't want any hard parts inside this porchetta. You know, this is really about respecting the animal, using every bit of it and making a really fun, easy eating period. So one leg out, that's it. Let's try it on the other side. So again, all we need to do is follow the bone right from that little socket that we found run that socket. It has a 90-degree turn. You're gonna follow that leg, being sure to just follow right as the bone goes down. Come straight down it. Once you have a little bit of it out, you're gonna pull your fingers up, get underneath that bone. Remember to take as little meat as possible, right? We wanna have as much of that in there as we can. Okay, so then we have this following that bone. Comes. Okay, now we're gonna move up to the front legs here. This is a little bit different bone, but it's the same idea. We're gonna follow the lines of it and go straight to that hard part. You're gonna feel it with your knife. And again, taking time to make sure that you just follow along the length of that bone. You should feel it as it comes out. This bone is a little bit smaller than those hind legs, but it's the same kind of process. We're just getting right around that socket, as you can see, and we're gonna get underneath it, keeping that skin attached. So we'll go all the way straight down this bone here. Kind of roll your knife right around that socket, and then being sure to get underneath that bone without puncturing that skin. Okay, so now we're here. We're gonna go underneath. You know, a lot of these things, like I said, a lot of times people wanna force their knife in there and shove it in, and really it's a delicate process. It's about controlled knife strokes, following the lines of the animal and trying to keep as much of that meat intact.
Pick up from trying.
Okay, you're trying to keep as much of that meat intact. All right, you want to get right on that bone. Once you're underneath it, you can easily detach it and kind of lift her up. Watch your fingers here. Okay, you start to see that bone come out. Again, you see a lot of this right to the bone here, following it. And what we'll do is we'll disattach it right at the joint. So you see where this little 90-degree turn is? We can come right underneath it. And much like the top, just take a little bit bigger knife, and just like that, we have it detached. Okay, so we're starting the process of a really beautiful stock. We have this gorgeous animal, head still on, and almost all of the bones out of here. We've got one more leg to deal with, and we're gonna follow that same process. Just follow the line of the bone, making sure to hit the hard bone part. Okay, once you hit bone, just follow it up. You'll start to find that socket. And then just gently run your knife along that edge, taking a little bit at a time. You want to be a little bit more careful on this side than you had on the back. You don't have all that meat that you had on the butt. So it's a little bit more gentle. You see me taking a little bit more time to really take care to kind of come underneath. Just little knife cuts, little knife cuts. Remember, we want to use every bit of this animal, you know, the process that it was grown. We want to respect how it is treated, and then we really want to showcase this animal. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, once we're here, all we're trying to do is detach it right at that socket. There she is. Hello. That beautiful pearly white socket. You start to see it come out. That's your sign of you're doing it right. Okay. We'll get underneath here. Remember, we want to make sure and to not puncture that back side. That's going to be our biggest task today. Okay, once you have that out, you can start the process of just coming down the bone, detaching it right at that 90-degree turn. Okay, we'll come out with our bigger knife here. And again, it's not about hacking it, it's just about getting underneath, making sure to maintain that structure, maintain that skin, and just like that. All right, look at this process that we did. No, not too much time at all, just a little bit of patience and care. We have a completely tunnel boned out suckling pig. Absolutely incredible. And now what can we do? Now, you see we've gone through this process where we have this animal completely disattached, ready to be rolled up. So we've had the team here at Urbanwood take all of that excess meat, grind it into a sausage, and now we're gonna stuff that back in there. Not only did we grind it, but we added some wonderful spices. A little bit of Ras Al Hanout. Ras Al Hanout literally means top of the shelf. So these are our top of the line spices, some of the best and the brightest: turmeric, cardamom, cumin, paprika. This is gonna be full of flavor, full of spice, and really alive. To start, we're gonna get some gloves on for that sausage. We're gonna add some seasonings to this, all right? We have this gorgeous pig. We wanna make sure it's fully seasoned. A lot of people are often a little bit scared when they're seasoning their meat. I always kind of go with a 2% ratio. So 2% of the weight of that pig is about how much actual salt it's gonna need to penetrate it, to have flavor. So like, I'm gonna make sure it is fully coated, well seasoned. We're gonna add some of that gorgeous spice blend that we've talked. Oh, I wish you guys could smell it here. You see those colors popping. You see that turmeric, really overload it with spices and flavor. One of the best things we're known for here at Urbanwood is our love of spice and flavor. So really a generous portion. Gosh, it smells incredible. I wish you guys could be here for this. Really overdo it. We've ground it, we've added a little bit of excess fat, and now we're gonna stuff it back in. All right? This, we want it to be a nice plump pig. We're gonna add about half of our sausage right here, making sure that we can still close her. Going right up to that little tail. We've kept that tail in. I want people to see it. All right, so we've got it in there now. So now we've got the sausage inside the cavity. What we've done is prepared some butcher's twine. All right, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it very simple. We're gonna roll this back in, keeping it together. So all we're gonna do is take that beautiful top and come right over, tucking that guy right in here. Talk about divine. So what we'll do is we're gonna lay down some initial strings to tuss this up. You know, you can do this a lot of different ways. I've seen sewing needles here. A simple butcher twine is really all you need to kind of keep this all together. As this cooks real slow and low, all of those natural fats and coagulants are gonna really hold it together. So really we're just trying to keep it intact, tied for now. Run about a line every 2 inches. Don't worry if it starts to come apart here, that's gonna be part of it. We're gonna tighten her up real tight. What I like to do is run all the strings across, and then that way I'm ready to tie them all up. Maybe 3 or 4. Don't come at me in the comment section that there's more than 2 inches. You know, do your best. Try to make it even. You know, this is a real labor of love. The important part about this is that we're really highlighting and respecting that animal. I think the important thing that you take from this video is that the respect and love that we have, not only for the life of this pig, but for the death. And that when we treat it, we really respect each of that process. So I've got my string laid out. Typically what I like to do is tie one off at the top. If you have excess, don't fret, we'll cut that out. Give yourself a nice little tie. Like I said, there's a lot of ways to do this. You can tuss this, you can run one long string and kind of tie it up. I find this to be a little bit easier for something this big. That way I'm able to kind of control my ties and really have exact even process and even roll. It gives me a lot more control than kind of fussing with one big string. So like I said, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna get it nice and tight. If you have excess string, don't worry, we'll come back. And then just kind of working one side to the other, get it nice and tight. Now this is gonna hold in all of that beautiful sausage that we made. Those ras al hanout, those gorgeous spices are gonna sing throughout that pig. We're gonna cook it low and slow. And this is gonna be the crispiest, most delicious head-on porchetta you've ever seen. Nice and tight. Remember that when we cook this, the process of holding this together is gonna allow for it to stick together, all of those proteins to really come together. And then let's cut one more length of string just to be extra sure. And we'll trim off some of these extra twine. Look at that thing come together. She's got a little bit of a belly right now. She got a little belly, but we're gonna squeeze that together here. Look at this little cutie. Okay, last one kind of going together. Alrighty, now that we have all of those strings attached, let's go ahead and get some of this excess out of here. Just go ahead and cut some of that excess. Don't need that. Don't need all that. How exciting. This is that moment you've all been waiting for. We've been working on this for what feels like days. We've spent a lot of effort and muscles, and now we get to see all of that hard work pay off. Let's make sure this is tied properly. So now she's all tussed up. Now, if you feel like some of yours aren't tight enough, if you feel like it hasn't gone all the way through, just tie another one on there. There are no rules, there are no regulations, but what you're gonna end up with is this gorgeous whole porchetta, head on, absolutely beautiful, stuffed with its own sausage, full of ras al hanout, lots of flavor. We're gonna cook this at the Ecology Center on the farm. It's gonna be a whole shebang. Come and see it, come watch the final cooking of this beautiful animal that you can do yourself.